Hi everyone, this is LAR Games, and today I'm watching the very last episode of Arpeggio of Blue Steel. Uh, After this is going to come another Patreon poll where anyone can vote based on the suggestions that my patrons add to the poll, so look forward to that, I guess. But yeah, it is going to be one climactic battle, that's for sure. I'm still pretty torn up about the fact that shoot, I forgot her name. God, I'm so freaking bad with names, even with characters I like. Um, Takao, I think. Yeah, I'm upset that Takao lost her body. I thought that she was just gonna lose like the ship part, but like her physical mental model was still going to be there. But that's not the case. She's actually inside of the ship. She's like an AI now, and that's really upsetting because I why would she need to give up her actual like mental model body? I don't understand that. Like there's more than enough material to go around. Like there was a tiny bit of it. Like she just needed to set a tiny bit of it for the body. There was no reason to just use everything. It's not like the amount that was in her body would be enough to like have any substantial contribution to it. I don't know. It just upsets me that she doesn't have her body anymore. So, yeah. She's like Kirishima. There's two characters now that I think really need to get their body back. And I'm not going to be able to see that because this is the last episode of the season. I think there's a movie, but I'm not going to be reacting to that as, part of this season because movies are very different beasts and I don't typically lump them in with a show. It's going to just have to go in my movie queue, I guess. But yeah, last episode. Guess we'll have this battle, and hopefully by the end they'll make it to Hawaii. So, with that said, let's get started. Oh yeah, we also got uh Congo, I think her name was, turning into the Death Star over here. How she even did that, I have no idea. Why didn't the fog just do this in the first place instead of turning into ships, like human-looking ships? I feel maybe the fog is going to fight Congo at the same time. Might be just like a three-way battle here. I have to wonder if merging with other ships is this easy. How come they haven't been doing that in the first place? Just like defeating a ship and then absorbing it, defeating a ship and then absorbing it. Iona could have been like incredibly powerful by now. She might just attack the fleet to get them out of the way. It seems that's exactly what she's doing. Well, that helps a lot, but now they have to deal with this Death Star. It very much works like a Death Star. except on a smaller scale. Ah, so she used up one of the ships to attack. So she only has a couple of those shots. Seems she wants a one-on-one. One last conversation before the fight. I've noticed that the meeting locations change quite a bit depending on who's hosting. So she does consider herself one at this point. Yeah, at this point she's deviated much more than anyone else. That is an interesting idea. So you can do something like this in the meeting space. These visuals are amazing, by the way. These energy blasts look really good. I think they could probably tank one of these at most. Somehow. I don't know if she can do that. How's that possible? Oh, like physically? Like they're gonna send her mental model over there somehow? I'm glad we can still have her reactions. Feel this is probably gonna end tragically for Congo anyway, no matter what happens. So my prediction about having a fight with the fog, well, that didn't really happen, did it? They were kind of deleted very early on. That's a very computer-like number. Should have ramped up from like 64 to 128 and then 512. Next amount of missiles is 1024. That's the equivalent of punching frantically at the enemy. Wow, I don't like this. It doesn't seem they work by proximity, so that's good. She made it. A little smoking, but she made it nonetheless. That a sword? That's a lot of swords. They look kind of like the arms of a snowflake. How is she gonna get out of this? She's pretty relentless with the attack. I have no idea what's going on now. Oh, okay, she was linking, alright. I think death is an easier concept to comprehend than sadness for a machine, because death is simply the termination of operation, but sadness is a much more abstract concept than that. I feel it's going to lead up to a confrontation where it's like, "No, Congo, I am your mother," and then she's like, "No, it's impossible," and then she cuts off her hand, but then she still survives. I saw those tears. Oh, I didn't know that this was the kind of anime I was watching. Wow, this really is kind of like Star Wars. Hmm. That's a bit overkill. What? Um, she's kind of right though. Where did she get that power? What energy source is she using? She sounds like a neat. Or a shut-in at least. Oh, her defenses are down. She looks like she needs a hug. There you go. I feel it's still probably going to end tragically for her, like I said. That's the nicest meeting place yet. Really got creative with their VR environments. That's a lot of material just going into the ocean. That is a dance. That that place where she is, the engine room or whatever it is, it seems very unsafe. There's just like arcing plasma everywhere in that room. So is she gonna stay alive or she's just gonna fade away or something? Is that an actual option? So she's fine then. All right, so she's gonna stay alive. It wasn't as tragic as I anticipated. That's good. Ishi indeed. You know, I can't tell if that's actually someone who speaks English or just a Japanese person who's being very good at saying things with the proper accent because they were speaking very slow. All right. They're at Hawaii now. Hawaii seems to be doing pretty well. So we gained Congo, but we lost Iona's sisters. Ha! The character progression you have made is astounding. Well, that's adorable. All right. You're welcome, I guess. um, so yeah, that's it for this series. Huh. This was a fun series. I quite enjoyed watching it. The only thing is, I mean, I did have a couple of glaring issues with it that I think would have made the series a lot more enjoyable. And that's mainly being, the actual main cast that weren't the Fog. Because for the Fog, you don't really need backstories because they were created. You don't need to know how they ended up in whatever situation because it was just orders that led them there. But for the human characters, I really would like to know more about them, especially the main character. We got a hint of that in the beginning where he's, was talking about his dad and stuff. But like after that, it was just a flash forward to current day after they've done all these things. And after they've already settled on whatever status quo they currently have, we didn't get to see how that status quo was formed, which is, I think, one of the most important things in telling a story. You have to establish how things got to the way they were. Otherwise, it feels like we're missing something. And that's something that I feel that this series had me doing quite a bit, feeling like there was story missing, feeling that there were character moments missing. So just like the main character said at the end there, he says he feels like he's made a lot of progression, but we didn't see any of that. We didn't see his change from however he was in the beginning to whatever he is now. And not only that, I feel like besides the ship girls, we don't know anything about anyone. We don't know what their likes are besides what we see in their like cubicles or whatever. We don't know their personalities. We don't even know how they interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. So there's really nothing that has us really be emotionally invested in the characters themselves because we don't know the characters. I was really interested in learning about the glasses girl, but like nothing really came up with her. She basically, like, her entire being could have been replaced with just a status message on a screen and nothing would have changed. And that's exactly the same thing with every single character. The main character could have been exchanged with like some sort of speaker for the most part, because that wouldn't have worked, in the part where he was actually physically in danger. So given that, he can't be as easily replaced, but I do feel like caring about him personally is almost impossible with the little amount that we were given. And also caring about the bonds that these crewmates have made, you didn't feel any of that because we didn't see any of it. And I'm not just talking in terms of backstory here, I'm talking just in terms of any actual like character interaction as well. They didn't have any. The limits of their character interaction were basically just reporting statuses, different statuses of the ship, statuses of, combat, and orders being given. and that's about it. So it doesn't really even matter that they're supposedly friends from school because that wasn't shown either. That aside, though, my problems with characterization aside, I do think this is a very enjoyable watch. And what I lacked in character interaction between the crewmates, I did have between at least, the ship girls and sometimes the captain. So those were enjoyable. I just wish there was more character building for everyone else. Um, so yeah, I think if I was going to rate this show, I'd give it like maybe a 7 or 8. Yeah, it was fun. Like I do want more of this, and I probably will end up reading the manga, so I will get more of this, and hopefully I'll be able to react to the movie at some point. Of course, that's not a Patreon reaction. That's just me. Since I watched this, I want to watch the movie now. If I'm right about there being a movie. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my reaction to this series, and the poll is gonna come next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.